But now I want to introduce you to another incredible woman. She is not just documenting women's history this month, but year-round. Her nonprofit, One Girl Revolution, shines a light on everyday women and girls changing the world. And she actually shares their stories on her podcast and in documentaries to inspire others to do the same. Everybody say hi to Kate. What's up, Kate?
Proud of you. Girl, thank you. Thank you so much.
Makes me want to go on vacation.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I'm like, you walked out, I was like, wow.
The sun is out. Let's go, girl.
It is a beautiful day today. I know. Explain more about for everybody what One Girl Revolution does.
Yeah, well, first of all, Kelly, thank you so much for having me on and for being a One Girl Revolution, because you truly are. But One Girl Revolution is a nonprofit multimedia organization that highlights the stories of world-changing women and girls. So we do that through multiple different ways, multimedia. So we have a podcast and we have almost 250 episodes.
Yeah.
250 unique stories of women and girls who are changing the world across the country. 2 documentaries, which are both on YouTube, one of which is called The Girl Inside, where we actually took a film crew into Cook County Jail in Chicago and interviewed 5 incarcerated women about their stories, about who they are as people. And what we unlocked was the girl inside of each and every one of them. And then we utilize social media to highlight these stories and just continue the drumbeat for these stories to get out there and to garner support for these women and their incredible organizations.
Support for them and inspire others. Absolutely. What inspired you to do this?
Yeah, so it's kind of twofold. So one, I have a background in PR and media, and I moved to DC, worked in PR and media there, and my dream was to become a political commentator. And then working in media, I started getting frustrated and disheartened by the fact that women's voices and their stories aren't often told. So I moved back to Detroit and thought, well, I could either be a part of the solution and start One Girl Revolution, or I could complain about it. So I was like, I'm gonna be a part of the solution.
Which a lot of people just complain about it.
It's true. So I was like, I'll start One Girl Revolution. And then it was a couple of years into One Girl Revolution that I started reflecting on my own story. As a little kid, I was this feisty, happy, joyful little kid, but I was born with a really rare immune deficiency called Job syndrome. So Job, named after Job in the Old Testament. He suffers greatly. And so people with Job syndrome suffer greatly. And as a little kid, I had terrible eczema. I would itch my hair out. So people oftentimes thought I was going through chemo treatments because I didn't have a lot of hair.
Oh my God, childhood is already hard enough. Wow.
It's so hard. But I was this happy-go-lucky little kid. I get into school, like so many other people, started getting bullied. Anytime I raised my hand, kids would make comments about my looks. And so I became this insular little kid. I went from being this happy-go-lucky, joyful, opinionated little girl to being this insular, wilted flower. And obviously, I found my power again. I found my voice again, but I reflect back to that little girl, and I know what it feels like to be forgotten about. I know what it feels like to be marginalized and ignored, and I want One Girl Revolution to be the vehicle that makes sure that no woman or girl ever feels that way.
That's really cool. Thank you for sharing that. Our next guest is one of the youngest ever to be featured on the One Girl Revolution podcast. Let's welcome now the founder of 3 Wishes for Ruby's Residents, Ruby. Give it up, y'all. Thank you. Welcome to the show. You compliment the beautiful garden that's happening right now. I like it so much. But you started your nonprofit when you were 10?
Yes, I did.
I have a 10-year-old little girl now, and I'm just like, that is impressive, ma'am.
Thank you. That means so much.
What made you want to do it?
What made me want to do it is I've been going to the nursing home with my mom ever since I was 4 years old. So when I was 10, I realized that they didn't have the same stuff that I did. So they didn't have a candy bar or a soda on their nightstand. And being 10 years old, I knew that stuff was important.
Priorities.
So I started asking them if they could have any 3 things in the world, what would they be? And that was because they got $40 a month. And that $40 pays for things like haircuts and makeup and their favorite drinks. And so it ran out really, really quickly. And they didn't have enough money to spend on the small luxuries they needed because they were getting pants that fit and paying for their phone bill. So when I told my mom that I was going to start asking them if they could have any 3 things in the world, she doubted me because she thought they were going to ask for things like a house or a car or things that they couldn't get. But
she thinks like an adult, not a kid.
Because she had been doing that 25 years. And so in reality, all they wanted was fresh fruit and their favorite things, small things that anyone can get, that me and you get from the grocery store. And one guy even asked for Vienna sausage and pants that fit and a Happy Meal from McDonald's.
Oh my God, I love it. Never mind, I'm gonna keep that to myself. See, Mom, I have a filter. So what have you accomplished since creating Three Wishes?
I have granted 100,000 wishes, small wishes.
That is incredible.
Yes.
So you say that your story with One Girl Revolution helped you personally, so how so?
Being on One Girl Revolution just really boosted my confidence. Kate reached out to my mom when I was 12 years old, and I was going through a really rough time. I was in middle school, and people can be really mean.
Middle school sucks.
Oh, it does.
Yeah, that was a hard time for this kid, too.
Yes. So it was just really hard for me to find my confidence. I wasn't in sports. I didn't have any hobbies. I wasn't in any clubs. So it was hard for me to make friends. But Kate reaching out to me and me being on her podcast really gave me the confidence that I needed. It made my voice stronger, and it made me realize that kindness can be a hobby, and that kindness was my hobby.
Yeah,
and so
that could be a platform.
Yeah, and so Kate really just had an impact on me, and we've really built a friendship just past the podcast as well. She visited me in Arkansas, and I was able to go visit her childhood home in Michigan, and we cooked together. It was amazing.
Ruby has impacted my life, and that's the thing about One Girl Revolution. When we hear other people's stories, we can learn so much from one another. You were talking about multi-generations, right? Like, I'm older than Ruby, but I've learned so much from her, and I remember even after or during COVID, because I think we got connected, you were on the podcast around that time, Ruby had posted, hey, everybody send postcards to your local senior living facility. And I remember sitting in Michigan and saying, I could do that, right? River could do that.
Yeah.
Kids could do that.
I agree. Small ripples that make the world go round. Well, thank you so much, Kate. Thank
you
Ruby.
so much for having us.
Powerful women. You can find the One Girl Revolution podcast wherever you get your podcasts.